So this mouse seems pretty interesting. It's going for $13 shipped. It has an Abago 3050 optical sensor, which is very good for lower end mice. It has RGB lights. Buttons are rated for 20 million clicks, and the shell seems very safe as it replicates that of the SteelSeries Rival 100. Hey guys, HyperRocket here. I first wanted to note that my review of the Habit Rally F300 did very well, and received lots of views and positive feedback. If you guys want to see more of these mouse reviews, make sure you toss me a like, as the video will be more likely to come up in search results. This means that the channel can gain popularity and I can maybe start reviewing mice that companies send me instead of paying for each one out of my own pocket. If this video hits 5 likes, I'll try to release my next mouse review as soon as possible. Anyways, this is my review for the Hcman X90 gaming mouse. I've covered my guidelines for mouse reviews in my review of the F300. Just to paraphrase, I decided to start mouse reviews on the channel to both help you guys out if you need a new mouse and to find the best budget gaming mouse for Minecraft PvP, which I've classified as under $20 new. Even though I'm focusing primarily on mice suitable for Minecraft, this does not mean that the top recommended mice will not be suitable for other games. For example, the F300 I reviewed recently has a great sensor, buttons, and glide, and is highly recommended for FPS and MOBA at this price point for the people that I specified it for. Generally, I will mainly base my reviews on 4 main factors of gaming mice. These are the sensor, buttons, weight, and mouse feet, and the shape. The importance of these factors depends entirely upon your preferences and your styles of play, but I am a medium sensitivity player that requires a great sensor that can handle my flicks with high accuracy. I also need good low travel buttons that have enough tactile feedback, a mouse with an overall lightweight and that has high quality mouse feet to ease with flicks, and a shape that allows me to aim to the best of my ability. I propose these very general guidelines because everyone is different, which implies that there is no single perfect mouse. In these reviews, it is important to pay attention to things that suit you, not necessarily the things that I say are best for me. All of that out of the way, let's begin. Getting into the review now, I first want to talk about the shape and the build quality. The X90 has an ambidextrous design that is similar to the shape of the SteelSeries Rival 100. On the sides, there are necessary ledges that assist with picking the mouse up. The sides are very flat, and this is a very good thing, as flat sides are more suitable for different grip styles. We say that these mice have safe shapes. Although the sides are flat, there are some extra details toward the back of the mouse that jeopardize that shape. We see a break in the shell at the bottom of the mouse under the back side button, and another break which creates another ledge at the back of the mouse. Although these details make the mouse unique and give it some character, I am not a huge fan of these sharp, abrupt edges. As a claw grip user, my thumb is able to dodge that first sharp ledge. The palm and fingertip grip users will surely hit it on the left side. On the right side, my pinky does hit the abrupt ledge. Here's where the mouse becomes unsafe for me. While this ledge would be comfortable for me if my pinky were in the corner that is created between the ledge and the flat side, it is not, since my pinky actually sits above the ledge. This means that my pinky is unable to assist when lifting the mouse, since there is no longer a curve for my pinky to use. Now that pinky can only help me with stability and offers no aid whatsoever for improving grip, which is a shame. For those who use fingertip or palm grip, your pinky might miss the ledge on the right side of the mouse, but your thumb will most likely hit it on the left side, which might create some discomfort. Moving on, if we look at the side view of the mouse, you can really see the resemblance with the Rival 100. The mouse has a very flat profile on the top with a slightly steep button slope. The hump is slightly towards the back. Now looking at dimensions, we see that the mouse has a base width of 5.25 centimeters and a grip width of 5. The base length is around 11 centimeters. But the length between the mouse feet is around 10. The height at the hump is harder to measure, but I'd say it's around 3.5. This mouse falls within the small to medium size and is suited primarily for palm grip users who have small hands, and claw grip users with small to medium hands. Fingertip grip could work for people with larger hands. That being said, the steeper button slope might make it a little bit more difficult to fingertip grip, and the short grip width might make it a slightly awkward shape for people with large hands, so be careful. I'd say palm grip would work for people with hands between 14 to 18.5 centimeters. Claw would work for 15 to 19 centimeters. And fingertip is kind of weird, but I'd say 17 to 20. These are estimates and are definitely not exact. Some might actually be inaccurate because of the weird ledges. Overall, I'm kind of torn on the shape since it might work for a lot of people, but not really for me. I feel like it might have been over-designed a little bit. Now onto build quality. The top is made from a soft touch textured plastic. The sides are a glossy plastic. And the central border between the left and right mouse buttons is made from metal. We also see metal underneath the mouse. This is an interesting decision because although metal gives the mouse some more quality, it adds a lot of weight, which is usually something that is unwanted in a gaming mouse. The texture on top is nice and satisfactory at the price point, but the side textures are really bad. The glossy plastic picks up on fingerprints and dirt and is super slippery. Have a listen to when I shake the mouse. There's a very noticeable rattle, and after holding in all the buttons, I still hear it. There is definitely some moderate sensor rattle. This isn't a problem unless it impacts in-game performance, just something to keep note of. Now listen when I tap the mouse. I hear the normal hollow sound. Overall pretty bad build quality, but not bad enough to be the sole deal breaker since we are dealing with a sub $20 mouse. Now onto buttons. There are 6 of them that are not programmable to my knowledge, as this is just a plug-and-play mouse. I want to start this section by giving you a sound test of the clicks. The left and right mouse buttons are okay with low travel and distinct clicks. The clicks seem to be consistent, which implies some consistency in the switch type used, but when I click them in, I hear a snap and a rattle on the return. I will listen to the right click again. Compare this with the left. This is very unfortunate and completely unwanted in a gaming mouse. They are usable, but certainly flawed. I wasn't able to click as consistently and as quickly as I am on higher end mice, but luckily I did not find any noticeable button latency testing the XM90 against the Razer Death Adder. Buttons are also useful for jitter clicking, but again, not the best quality. The side buttons have low travel and click in without too much resistance, but both mouse 4 and mouse 5 are very loose and rattle quite a bit. Poor quality again, have a listen. Less so on mouse 4. Notice that they're not actually actuating when I do this. It is a simple rattle, no actuation. Mouse 3 works as intended with moderate actuation force, and the scroll steps are good. The wheel is overall pretty quiet, but has a slight rattle when going up, but this is normal on most mice. The DPI button is good, not the best button ever, but works as intended and is out of the way enough. I didn't have any accidental clicks in game. There are 5 different DPI modes. There's 250, which is red. We have 1000, which is blue. We have 2000, which is green. We have purple for 3000, and yellow for 4000. Overall, not the best buttons ever. Now onto the sensor. Hcman advertises an Avago 3050 optical sensor on their website, which is highly respected for budget gaming mice. Generally, the Avago 3050 is advertised to have a maximum tracking speed of around 3.4 meters a second, with no acceleration, angle snapping, or jitter, so I have high hopes for this one. Now testing the implementation of the sensor in this mouse. I first want to flick the mouse quickly to check to see whether it can handle my clicks. As you can see, it cannot. The mouse spins out very easily. Now doing the tilt slam test. This test is one where I hold the mouse at an angle relative to the pad and swipe quickly. This test is relevant to players who have this specific technique, but it is also relevant to flicks that start with the mouse raised above the mouse pad. This mouse fails this test as shown by these spinouts. Now testing for acceleration, I do this by setting a starting point on my mouse pad, moving the mouse quickly and then tracking back slowly to see if we land in the original spot. But this is difficult to do as I don't want to spin the mouse out. So within its tracking speed, I'll do this test. We see that it landed somewhere close to the original spot, so I say that there's no real notable acceleration or deceleration. Now zooming into FOV 30. Pixel by pixel. It seems to be tracking okay. Notice if I go really slowly, the lines I draw are very straight. Maybe a little too straight, that was a little fast, but if I go really slowly, you can draw extremely straight lines. I'd say that there's a little bit of angle snapping on this sensor. Now testing for responsiveness. I don't really have a real test to do this, but just by feel, it seems to be usable enough. I can't detect any obvious input delay issues. These are the results I had for the whiteboard sensor tests. There seems to be some very minor angle snapping, but no skipping. There's another lift-off movement issue though. In this test, I hold down mouse 1 and tap the mouse repeatedly on the pad and track the movement. I usually expect minor but erratic movement in this test, but this mouse seems to travel upward consistently. Not a huge issue, but just something I should point out. Overall sensor implementation of the Avago 3050 in this mouse is horrendous. Other mice that use this sensor I think are the Thermaltake Talon, Lenovo Optical Gaming Mouse, and Jellycomb 4000 DPI, all of which perform much better. To conclude, despite the low price point of this mouse, I highly suggest against buying it. There are much better options at the price point that I will most likely cover in a future video. The only people that I would potentially recommend this mouse to are high sensitivity players that have smaller hands and hold the mouse in a claw or palm grip style. Even then, this recommendation seems far-fetched. If you do have small hands, play with high sensitivity, and hold the mouse with a palm grip, I still suggest that you wait until I review some other options at the same price point, because this mouse is nowhere close to what you can get at this price point. Overall, not recommended at all.